Hi, this is Mel and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'll be sharing with you how we filled out the form I-134 or the Declaration of Financial Support. If you have followed my journey, I got my K-1 visa February 2024 and I've been here in the US for 6 months already. Luckily, it was a very smooth process for us and we didn't got any requests for evidence or RFEs. Before we begin, take note that I am not an immigration lawyer or expert. My comments are for general information and support only. For personalized guidance, consult a qualified immigration attorney or expert. Now to access the form I-134, first you need to make sure that you go to the correct website. So I just typed USCIS forms in Google search. The website should be www.uscis.gov. So let's just click this link. So this is where you can download all the USCIS forms. You can filter them by category, or you can just simply type the form that you need. So in this case, we need the form I-134. So there's the form I-134. Let's just click this link. In this page, we can find all the information about this form. So it says here that you use this form to agree to provide financial support to a beneficiary of certain immigration benefits for the duration of their temporary stay in the United States. You must file a separate form I-134 for each beneficiary. So since we filed the K-1 or the I-129F petition for alien fiancé, we also filed the form I-134 together with form I-129F. Now you can click this link for the detailed instructions on how to fill out the form. So this is the instructions. On the other hand, this link will be the form itself. So you need to click this link. So you can either fill out this form online or you can download the form and fill it out offline. So we are now ready to fill out the form. Again, make sure that you have the correct form. So the header states that it's the Declaration of Financial Support or the form I-134. And make sure that the form is still valid. So this one expires on November 30, 2026. Just a disclaimer, all the informations that I'm gonna input here are just for illustration purposes only. So let's start filling out this form. So start here, type or print in black ink. Part 1, basis for filing. I am filing this form on behalf of, I clicked myself as the beneficiary. Part 2, information about the beneficiary. Complete Part 2 regardless of whether you are filing this form on behalf of yourself as the beneficiary or on behalf of another individual who is the beneficiary. Beneficiary's current legal name. Do not provide a nickname. So family name or last name, Reyes. Given name or first name, Melissa. Middle name, Santos. Other names used. Provide all other names the beneficiary has ever used, including aliases, maiden name, and nicknames. If you need extra space to complete this section, use the space provided in Part 8, Additional Information. So again, family name or last name, Reyes. Given name or first name, Melissa. Middle name, so since I've already put Santos in number 1, I will now put just S, letter S for Santos or my middle initial in this section. So since I don't have any other aliases or other names being used, I just put NA in this part. So NA stands for not applicable. So NA, NA, and NA. Date of birth, 05/01/1981. Gender, female. Alien registration number or A number. I don't have any A number yet, so NA. Place of birth, city or town, Davao City. Country, Philippines. State or province, Davao del Sur. Country of citizenship or nationality, Philippines. Marital status. So I clicked single and never been married, never married. So here you type NA. Part 2, information about the beneficiary. So this is just a continuation. Beneficiary's mailing address, in care of name or if any. So I just type here NA. Street number and name, 4321 Gomez Street. Then number, that is just NA. It's not applicable for me. City or town, Davao City. State, not applicable. Zip code, not applicable. Province, Davao del Sur. Postal code, 8000. And country, Philippines. Are the beneficiary's mailing address and physical address the same? So I clicked yes. If you answered no to item number 10, provide your physical address in item number 11. Beneficiary's physical address. So since I clicked yes, we don't need to answer this section here. So I just type NA. So in care of name, if any, so this is NA. Street number and name, NA. Number, NA. City or town, NA. State, NA. Zip code, NA. Province and postal code and country, these are all not applicable. Beneficiary's anticipated length of stay. Beneficiary's anticipated period of stay in the United States from... So I just type here NA since we don't know when my flight will be or when will I arrive in the United States. So I just type NA, and then there's no end date since I will be, after the wedding, I will be staying with my husband in the US for good. So after that, I will be filing adjustment of status, so I'll become a permanent resident in the United States. So there's no end date for that. Beneficiary's financial information. Provide information about the beneficiary's income and assets. If you need additional space to complete any item number in this section, use the space provided in Part 8, Additional Information. So, beneficiary's income. Provide all of the information requested in the table below about the beneficiary and all of the beneficiary's dependents and any other individuals the beneficiary financially supports. Do not include any individuals named in Part 3. Information about assets that are not based on employment should be added in item number 16 and not in item number 13. So, individual's full name. So, I just type my name, Melissa Santos Reyes, date of birth, 05/01/1981, relationship to the beneficiary. So, I just type self because I am filing for myself as the beneficiary. Income contribution to the beneficiary. Annually, I just type 0 because there's none. And then NA, I just type NA on the rest of the fields here. And then total number of dependents, just 1 because it's just me. And then total income, 0. Does any of the beneficiary's total income, including income from dependents and other individuals who contribute to the beneficiary's income, excluding any individuals named in Part 3, come from an illegal activity or source. So illegal activity or source are those that such as proceeds from illegal gambling or illegal drug sales. So I type no. If you answered yes to item number 14, what amount of the beneficiary's total income comes from an illegal activity or source? Since I typed no, I answered NA in this section. Beneficiary's assets. In the table below, provide the amounts of assets available to the beneficiary for the expected period of his or her stay, excluding assets from any individuals named in Part 3. Attach evidence showing that the beneficiary has these assets. So these are my assets. So I just type my name in under this section, full name of asset holder. So Melissa Santos Reyes. So in this one, this type of asset is my checking or bank account. So we have a drop down menu here. So just click whatever is applicable on your case. And then for my checking or bank account, I have $5,000. So you need to convert. If this is a peso account, you need to convert it into its value in dollars. So $5,000. Again, Melissa Santos Reyes, type of asset, savings, bank account. I have $8,000. Melissa Santos Reyes, personal property or the net value of that personal property, it's $7,000. So again, it's under my name, and this is my annuities. It's $9,000. Current cash value in US dollars, so I just added them all. So it's $29,000 and total is $29,000. Part 3. Information about the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary named in Part 2. If you are not the beneficiary named in Part 2, complete Part 3. So current legal name. So this is the information about my petitioner because he's the one who agreed to financially support me in my stay in the US. So current legal name, do not provide a nickname. So family name or last name Reynolds, given name or first name Kevin, middle name is John. Other names used, provide all other names you have ever used, including aliases, maiden name, and nicknames. If you need extra space to complete this section, use the space provided in Part 8, additional information. So again, we just type family name, last name Reynolds, given name, first name Kevin, and my fiance's or my petitioner's middle initial J. And then for this section, since he doesn't have any other aliases or any other names being used, we just typed NA in this section. Current mailing address in care of name or if any, so this is not applicable for us. Street number and name, 1234 Acre Drive, not applicable for the number. City or town, Montgomery City, State, Alabama, zip code 8412. Province, not applicable. Postal code, not applicable. And country, United States. So, to continue, is your current mailing address the same as your current physical address? So we clicked yes. If you answered no to item number 4, provide your current physical address in item number 5. So since we clicked yes, all these fields are not applicable. So we just type NA for each section. Please don't leave anything blank. So if it's not applicable, just type NA. Other information of this is about my petitioner, date of birth 01/02/1980. So make sure to follow the format. Place of birth, city or town, Montgomery City, state or province, Alabama, Country, United States. So, alien registration number or A number. My petitioner doesn't have an A number, so NA. USCIS online account number. He doesn't have any USCIS online account number, so NA. Immigration status. What is your immigration status? Provide documentation as provided in the instructions. So again, this is about my petitioner. So he is a US citizen. And we just type here NA in the A number. Non-immigrant form I-134 arrival departure record number. We just typed NA. And then other, we just typed NA. Employment information of my petitioner. So he is employed full-time. And then we just typed here NA. If you indicated that you are employed in item number 11, provide the information requested in item numbers 12 to 13. So he is currently employed as a financial analyst in name of employer, Montgomery Bank. So he is not currently self-employed, so we typed NA. Current employer's address, street, number, and name, 7231 Jacksonville Street, number NA, city or town, Montgomery City, state, Alabama, zip code 8412, province, NA, postal code, NA, and country, United States. Financial information. Provide information about your income and assets. If you need additional space to complete any item number in this section, use the space provided in Part 8 additional information. Income. So for the petitioner's income, provide all of the information requested in the table below about yourself, all of your dependents, and any other individuals you financially support. Do not include any individuals named in Part 2. Information about assets that are not based on employment should be added in item number 17 and not in item number 14. So this is my fiance's or my petitioner's information. Since he is currently employed, this is his financial income information. So full name, Kevin John Reynolds, date of birth 01/02/1980, relationship to the individual, agreeing to financially support, type or print self for individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiaries. So we type self, and then income contribution to the beneficiary annually, so $90,000. So since other fields are listed as NA, we just put the total $90,000 in the total income. Does any of the income listed above come from an illegal activity or source, such as proceeds from illegal gambling or illegal drug sales? No. If you answered yes to item number 15, what amount of income comes from an illegal activity? So since we typed no, our answer here is NA or not applicable. So for the assets, fill out the table below regarding the assets available to you. Do not include any assets from any individuals named in Part 2. Attach evidence showing you have these assets. So these are all the assets of my petitioner. So full name of asset holder. So it's all named after my petitioner, Kevin John Reynolds. So for the type of asset, we just categorize each. So according to the different types of assets. So this one is checking or bank account. And then we provided the amount. And the next is savings, bank account. And then we provided the amount as well. So take note that you have a drop-down menu here. So depending on your case or any other assets that are available, you just click here, whatever it is applicable to your benefit, to your petitioner. So annuities, stocks, bonds, certificates of deposit, retirement or educational account, real estate holdings, and personal property net value. So all of these, we just click anything that's applicable to your petitioner. So we just put the amount for each of the asset, and then we added them all, and that would be the current cash value in US dollars, and then same with the total amount of all these in US dollars. Financial responsibility for other beneficiaries. Have you previously submitted a Form I-134 on behalf of a person other than the beneficiary listed on this Form I-134? So we click no. If you answered yes to item number 18, provide the information requested in item numbers 19 to 20. If you need additional space to complete this section, use the space provided in Part 8 additional information. So since we answered no, so all of these fields, we just put NA or not applicable. Since my petitioner hasn't filed any Form I-134 in the past, so these are all NA or not applicable. Intend to provide specific contributions to the beneficiary. So this is still my petitioner. So I intend or do not intend. So of course we clicked intend. Explain the contribution. For example, if you intend to furnish room and board, state for how long. If you intend to provide money, state the amount in US dollars and whether it is to be given in a lump sum, weekly or monthly, and for how long. If you need additional space, use Part 8 additional information. So we just indicated here, I intend to provide free board and lodging during herein beneficiaries' authorized stay in the US. Part 4 statement, contact information, certification, and signature of the beneficiary if filing Form I-134 on his or her own behalf. If you're the beneficiary and are filing Form I-134 on your behalf, complete and sign Part 4. Note that read the penalty section of the Form I-134 instructions before completing this section. So beneficiary statement. Select the box for either item A or B in item number 1. If applicable, select the box for item number 2. So I, as the beneficiary, certify the following. So we click this one, that I can read and understand English and have read and understand every question and instruction on this declaration and my answer to every question. So since we didn't use any interpreter, we just type here NA. And then there are no other preparers for this form. We just typed here NA. Beneficiary's contact information. So we just put here my daytime telephone number, and then as well as my email address and my mobile telephone number. Beneficiary certification. Copies of any documents I have submitted are exact photocopies of unaltered original documents, and I understand that USCIS or the Department of State may require that I submit original documents to USCIS or the Department of State at a later date. Furthermore, I authorize the release of any information from any and all of my records that USCIS or the Department of State may need to determine my eligibility for the immigration benefit I seek. I further authorize release of information contained in this declaration in supporting documents and in my USCIS or the Department of State records to other entities and persons where necessary for the administration and enforcement of U.S. immigration laws. I understand that USCIS may require me to appear for an appointment to take my biometrics. So this is your fingerprints, photograph, and our signature. And at that time, if I am required to provide biometrics, I will be required to sign an oath reaffirming that I reviewed and provided or authorized all of the information in my declaration. I understood all of the information contained in and submitted with my declaration, and all of this information was complete, true, and correct at the time of filing. I certify under penalty of perjury that I provided or authorized all of the information in my declaration. I understand all of the information contained in and submitted with my declaration, and that all of this information is complete, true, and correct. That this declaration is made by me to assure the U.S. government that I will be able to financially support myself while in the United States. That I am willing and able to pay for necessary expenses for the duration of my temporary stay in the United States. So I just affix my signature here and the date when I signed this form. So today is August 22, 2024. Part 5. Statement, contact information, certification, and signature of the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. If you are filing Form I-134 on behalf of someone else, complete and sign Part 5. Read the penalties section of the Form I-134 instructions before completing this section. Statement of individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. So this is my petitioner or my fiance. Select the box for either item A or B in item number 1. If applicable, select the box for item number 2. I, as the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary, certify the following. So we click letter A, that I can read and understand English and I have read and understand every question and instruction on this declaration and my answer to every question. So since we didn't use any interpreter, we typed NA, and since there are no other preparer for this form, we typed NA. Contact information of individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. So we just type my petitioner's daytime telephone number as well as his email address and his mobile telephone number. So certification of individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. Copies of any documents I have submitted are exact photocopies of unaltered original documents, and I understand that USCIS or the Department of State may require that I submit original documents to USCIS or the Department of State at a later date. Furthermore, I authorize the release of any information from any and all of my records that USCIS or the Department of State may need to determine my eligibility for the immigration benefit I seek. I further authorize release of information contained in this declaration in supporting documents and in my USCIS or the Department of State records to other entities and persons who are necessary for the administration and enforcement of U.S. immigration law. I understand that USCIS may require me to appear for an appointment to take my biometrics, and at that time, if I am required to provide biometrics, I will be required to sign an oath reaffirming that I reviewed and provided or authorized all of the information in my declaration. I understood all of the information contained in and submitted with my declaration, and all of the information was complete, true, and correct at the time of filing. I certify under penalty of perjury that I provided or authorized all of the information in my declaration. I understand all of the information contained in and submitted with my declaration, and that all of this information is complete, true, and correct. That this declaration is made by me to assure the U.S. government that the person named in Part 2 will be financially supported while in the United States. That I am willing and able to receive, maintain, and support the person named in Part 2 to better ensure that such persons will have sufficient financial resources or financial support to pay for necessary expenses for the period of his or her temporary stay in the United States. I acknowledge that I have read this section and I am aware of my responsibilities as an individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. So, signature of individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. So, my fiance or my petitioner affixed his signature in this portion and then type the date when you sign the form. So, August 22, 2024. Note to all individuals agreeing to financially support the beneficiary: if you do not completely fill out this form, or if you fail to submit required documents listed in the instructions, USCIS or the Department of State may deny or not consider your declaration. So you need to review everything before you submit them to USCIS. Part 6: Interpreter's Contact Information, Certification, and Signature. Provide the following information about the interpreter. So since we didn't use any interpreter, we just put NA in this section as well as in this section. Interpreter's mailing address and interpreter's contact information. So we typed NA for this section. Interpreter certification. So again, we didn't use any interpreters. We just typed NA as well as the interpreter's signature. We typed NA and then date NA. Part 7: Contact information, declaration, and signature of the person preparing this declaration, if other than the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. Provide the following information about the preparer. So we don't have any other person preparing this form apart from me, the beneficiary, and the petitioner. So we just type here NA as well as the preparer's mailing address and preparer's contact information. These are all not applicable. And then we just left this blank. And then preparer's certification. And then preparer's signature. We typed here NA. So if you need additional information, you need to input all of those information here in part A. So additional information, if you need extra space to provide any additional information within this declaration, use the space below. If you need more space than what is provided, you may make copies of this page to complete and file with this declaration or attach a separate sheet of paper. Type or print your name and a number at the top of each sheet and indicate the page number, part number, and item number to which your answer refers, and sign and date each sheet. So we just type here my name, but then since we don't have any other additional information, we type NA for each boxes. So make sure to follow instruction before you submit your form I-134. Okay, so that's it. That's your form I-134. I really hope that you learned something from this video, and also you can check out my playlist for videos about my K1 journey. I also uploaded how to fill out other USCIS forms, so please check them out. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment and I'll try to respond as soon as I can. I hope to see you guys on my next one. God bless.